The winner of this year's Girl Power Awards for Employability is the Medha Learning Foundation. Chris, could you please come up on stage? Thank you, Ram. Chris, if you could say a few words.
Sure. Good afternoon, everyone. I first want to thank Dasra and all of the sponsors of this program for this award and recognition. It means a lot to us to be recognized for our work. As much as we try to be humble in what we do, it's nice sometimes to be recognized and rewarded for it, and so I really appreciate it, and it means a lot to all of us. On behalf of the whole Medha team, who is in Lucknow and works in eastern Uttar Pradesh, on behalf of my co-founder Byomkesh, who couldn't be here, and my colleague Sarita, who is here today, who's standing there in the back, I accept this award on behalf of Medha and everyone in the Medha family. So when Byomkesh and I started Medha, the initial intention was actually not to work with young women and adolescent girls specifically. It was really to focus on the unemployability issue facing the country and to try to bring an intervention to the existing education system. We've talked a lot today about how the need to work within that system and to improve that system and to potentially reform that system. And for Byomkesh and I, when we were looking at the whole kind of employability landscape, we saw that a lot of people were leaving the gates of their colleges or secondary school, enrolling in short-term training programs and institutions, spending a lot of money on that, and ending up with the same employment outcomes or the same jobs. And we felt that this didn't make a lot of sense, and if we want to achieve the kind of goals that the country needs to achieve in terms of skilling and employability, we have to work within the existing education system. And so we built an employability education program that Akhil mentioned, of some of the details of, and we brought it back to the existing education system in Uttar Pradesh. And we brought it initially back to government and government-aided general stream degree colleges, students that were enrolled in BA, BCom, BSc programs, because we saw that there was a huge need there. And while, they're definitely in a higher education program, the employment outcomes were no better than an 8th or a 10th pass student. And so we started going back to these colleges and going to the principal secretaries and said, let us run this program that we've built essentially as an after-school program. Give us a couple hours every day, give us a classroom, and we'll do this training, and we'll try to bridge, this gap that exists. And what we started realizing was that a large percentage of these colleges and the students that were enrolled in these colleges were young women and adolescent girls. And we started thinking to ourselves, why is this the case? This wasn't really what we initially thought would happen. And we realized that in these general streams, it was largely young women that, for lack of a better term, were kind of left to go to these programs, especially the government and government-aided colleges in which we were working. The families would typically invest in the young boy to maybe go to a professional degree program or a private institution that had a better quality and a better employment outcome. And the whole reason that, these young women were enrolled in these degree programs was largely to make them more marketable in the marriage market, not necessarily to help them get a job, not necessarily to help them along on their career. And so that was the first, kind of realization that, perhaps we were entering a different realm of employability and different kind of issues associated with employability beyond just kind of training and placement that, a lot of institutions are involved with. And so we started working on these campuses in, kind of late 2011. And then we started realizing, I guess, kind of other things about the role that we were playing and the role that we were playing with these young students. And because we were not their friend, we were not their parent, we were not their teacher, we had a bit of a unique opportunity to build kind of trust and relationship with these young women where they would start to kind of really open up to us about a number of issues that they were facing when it came to things that were going to happen, after graduation or after, they finished school. And to be quite honest with you, we were not really prepared for this. I think what we thought was that our value was going to be around, improving employment outcomes and getting them jobs, and not necessarily mentorship and counseling around a number of issues that our young students were facing when it came to joining the workforce or the pressures that they felt, in terms of family to be able to, enter that workforce. And so over the course of time, we realized that as much value as we were providing in the skills training and the job outcomes, we were providing maybe more value in being a trusted mentor and an advisor to them during this, kind of challenging aspect of their lives. And so as Madhu mentioned, it's not necessarily all about just getting a job, but a lot of times it's about, some of maybe those other things that you end up doing with students and relationships that you're building that have the biggest impact over the long run. So as a result, our program has really evolved over the last 4 years to be from just a short-term, kind of after-school program to more of a full career service center on campuses. And so we are now working in 10 colleges across Lucknow, and we have an agreement with the Department of Higher Education and Technical Education to work with an additional 15 institutions across 7 districts in eastern Uttar Pradesh, setting up these career service counseling centers and working with students on all of this skill building and a lot of the other aspects that we end up engaging with these students on. So again, I'll conclude with that. I know that I probably went over time, but I really, again, appreciate the recognition for our work. And I'm looking to interact with, everyone that is here because certainly I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't say we need, financial and other support to achieve the kind of growth targets that we have. And again, our vision is always to kind of go back to the government and say, how do we further mainstream and integrate this into the existing education system? So again, thank you very much and look forward to speaking with all of you.